Hey everybody, welcome to Everyday Journey. Today we're in a bathroom. We're going to tackle a toilet issue. Let's check it out, show you what we need to do. For everybody who's new to the channel, definitely like and subscribe. I try to post a video about every week. So for those who might be wondering, this is what I've got going on. You may have the same thing at your house. As you can see there, looks like water is draining into the toilet bowl itself. So in order for that to happen, it has to be coming out of the tank somehow. So let's see how we can check and see how that's happening. Alright, so for most, you got a normal toilet here. Just take off the back lid. For anybody that's wondering, this is clean water. Granted, it's got some calcium in there or whatever may come along with the water, but this is clean water. You can get your hands in it, won't be an issue. So right here we've got our, where the water comes in, and it's got a float in here. You guys may have something that has a big ball over here. That's the float. It's all connected to a valve. As the water level gets higher in here, it makes the float get higher, and once it gets to the top, it'll shut off the water. You got the flap down here. That's what actually lifts up whenever you lift up the handle. So, and as the water goes down, the flap will fall back down, and this will start filling up again. Then you've got your little overflow right here. Some of the water, as it's filling, goes into here so it can go into the bowl. It helps fill up the bowl a little also. So this is what you want to see. This right here is the overflow. So if the water ever gets too high in here, and this one's actually wrong, it should go down the overflow. So if this was not stopping the water from filling up in here, then it should automatically drain down and wouldn't be an issue. So now I've got to actually see why the water is leaking from here down into the bowl when it shouldn't, because the flap is down. So I think I know why. So the other day I was actually working in here and hit this overflow, and it broke a little bit. So I ended up having to glue it, and I don't think the glue is set very well. It broke at the bottom. Pretty sure that's where it's leaking this time, but we're going to check it out. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is turn off the water. In most cases, just underneath the toilet on the wall is a valve. You just take that, turn it off, flush the toilet, and if water doesn't come back into the tank, then you know that the water is off. In my case, I know that that valve is messed up because I tried it before, and while I need to replace the valve, we're going to have to go to the main and turn off the water to the house so that we can take care of that problem. If you do have to do that and you think this might take a while, go to your hot water heater and turn off either the power or turn off the just switch it in off position so that you know that you're not going to boil water in there that's not being replaced with cool water. So make sure and turn that off. Alright, water's off. Let's go ahead and flush the toilet. This will get rid of most of the water. And I'm actually holding the flap up. That way we make sure all the water that can go down does. Now, once we get that, I've got some old, preferably dark colored towels, because this water does have stuff in it there that might dirty up the towel. So the dark one is best. So now that all the water is out, you go ahead and use a towel and put it down in there to soak everything up. And as you can see, we don't have any water filling this up again, so the water is definitely off now. Alright, now that the water is out of here, go ahead and disconnect the water supply from the tank itself. And it's down here. Okay, this is what it looks like there on the underside of the tank. And your water valve goes up to it. So you just reach up there. Most of the time you don't need a wrench anymore because it's all plastic. But in the case that you do need one, go ahead and use one. But yeah, just unscrew that and then everything should come off the top. I forgot to mention there actually was two things there. One to hold the supply line on, and then one to hold this onto the tank. You have to unscrew both of them. So now we can pull this out. We don't need it anymore. As you can see, this is wiggling way more than it should. So it's definitely broken. Now this should pull straight up out of the tank and be ready for the next one. We'll go ahead and pull the flap off. It just unhooks down here at the bottom. And then once it's up, we can unhook the chain. There we go, that's pretty easy. Set that aside. I think in my kit, it actually comes with a new handle, so we're going to go ahead and take that off as well. There's a nut on the back of here, and you just unscrew that. Well, we got lucky. You didn't have to unscrew it all the way because it just broke off. Can you see that? The nut just broke in two. It's not even that good quality of a nut. As you can see right there, it's not even formed completely. So now we just pull this away. Now we got that out of the way. So next thing, you have to take the tank itself off. It's not too hard. I'll show you how. So there's where we took off the where the water comes in, the float and all that. Just to the right of that, underneath where the toilet meets the bowl or the tank, there's your nut. And some of these are going to be possibly difficult. You just have to do what you have to do to get them off. This is plastic, so I don't think it's going to be that hard. So we'll just undo that and then undo the other one on the other side, and then remove the tank. Alright, now the tank just comes right off. And there at the bottom, you'll see there's actually a seal. The new kit comes with a new seal, but in my case, I'm not going to put it on because whenever we painted the wall back here, we took ours off, and ours was a special one, so we ended up having to get a special one. So I'm going to keep that one on there, but we can take it off so that we can reveal the nut that's on the bottom of this. Now we do have to take this nut off of here so that everything on the inside will come out. You can just take a big set of channel locks like this to do this job. I bought these a while back, thinking I'll probably never have to use them again. Turns out I do. But if you don't have any, you could always take a nail and put the head of it against here and use it like a punch. Or if you have a punch, you can use it and just sit there and try and tap it lightly in the direction that it needs to unscrew, and that should get it off of there. They're normally not that tight anyway. Alright, so that one's off. As you can see, mine broke, and I attempted to glue it, but it didn't stay, so it's time to replace it. This is just an all-in-one toilet repair kit. They actually have lots of different brands of them and have different things in them, so just look carefully. We're going to go ahead and install this one. So here's what we're replacing it with. Again, I'm taking this off, and we'll go ahead and put this. I also pulled the piece of cardboard that was around here because we don't need that. And go ahead and take this off of here for now. We don't need it in our way. Unscrew this, and this should be in the instructions. And we put it in place where the other one was. The rubber seal that you saw on there, that's what's actually going to seal the tank from the inside, keep the water from dripping out. And most of this stuff just has to be nice and hand tight. It's just plastic, so you're not going to be able to tighten it down too much. So if you wanted to, you could tighten it down as hard as you could with your hands. And just for that extra sense of security, you can take it and turn it just another little bit. We're going to put our seal back on. And this one's actually still fairly new. I haven't used it, or it hasn't been on there that long. So go ahead and put that on. And basically put everything back in reverse order. Make sure if you've got these little pads, make sure and put them back, because they're what's keeping your toilet from hitting against each other and causing it to chip or break. We'll go ahead and put our screws back on. The little wing nuts. Give it a quick wiggle, make sure that everything's tight. Again, this all needs to just be hand tight. Put on our float valve. And it's just the opposite the way the other one came off. Making sure that you put your seals on here. So we put our seal on, and we get our lock nut. And we tighten our water connection to it. Now we install our handle. And I think I know why I broke the other one. Looks like it's reverse threads. So pay attention, because I didn't. Now we install our flap. And this one's actually adjustable, and you'll have to play with that to see what works best for you. But basically this is designed so that it can use less water. And they do kind of work. So just try it out, try the different adjustments, flush it, see what it does, and then just go from there. And we're going to hook our chain on here. And the goal is to hook it in a way that it's not going to tangle up on itself. So you'll have to adjust the slack out of it, and maybe even just take off a few of the links, or several of the links for that matter. Whatever works for your situation. Because if it tangles up in there, it's just going to cause get in the way of the flap, and the flap won't close properly. So I'm going to set mine to the very end here, but there are several different holes that you can put it onto. That one's the one I'm going to start with. Just make sure it operates. And the last thing we need is our little tube, so that we can capture the water, or let the water drain into the tank, or into the bowl. So we just press it on here, put our clip on, make sure it doesn't come off. Take this one, and we've got a little adapter here that slides up over this. Problem with mine though is I don't think it's going to be long enough, so we're going to go with putting it into the tank, directly down into here. So this, if you're wondering what it is, you can change the position of where it sits so that it squeezes down more on this tube, and therefore not letting as much water down into the bowl. And that could possibly save you some water also. So the next thing we got to do, ensure everything's nice and tight, and turn the water back on. Alright. Got a little bit of water everywhere. Since I couldn't turn off the water completely, whenever I did turn it back on, this just popped right back out. So I do have to find a way to attach that. This is normally what you would use, but in my case, it's too tall, and it would hit the top of the tank. But it just clips on here like this. And then you just attach it like so. And it does at least direct it down, but again, this sits way too high above the tank for me, so I'll either have to trim this down a little bit, which actually I need to anyway, because here it's taller than right here, which means water will actually come out through here before it'll go down that, which is not what we want. So anyway, we'll fix that on my own. What I got here though is the float valve. I'm checking to see where it's going to stop the water. As it floats up, it's going to turn off the valve right in the top of this. And I've got a line over here on the side. I want it to go to the lowest line that's on there. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and screw this down. What that's going to do is make it to where the float can come higher before it turns off the valve. So let's see how close that gets to our line before it turns off. If need be, this does have an adjustment too, that you can turn it and lift the whole thing up, but I don't want to do that yet if I don't have to. That's got me pretty close to the line. So there you go. Besides a little bit that I have to do right here, we're done. So the tank flushes. Ooh, and we can see that kind of gets in the way anyway. Let it flush, see how that goes. And we're good there, so I think we're good. Alright, so there you go guys. Quick and easy. Anybody can do that. Hope you guys like that. If you guys got any other questions or anything like that, always leave a comment. I try to respond to anybody that's got questions, because if you're like me, a lot of times the internet's the only place you got to get the answers you need. So I try my best to make sure that everybody gets what they need to get their stuff working again. So just a side note, there is still a Arduino giveaway that I'm doing. Guys, check out the video. I believe it's either up here or up here. Check out that link and watch that video, do what it says, and eventually I'll be giving one away. So please subscribe, like, all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys next time.